optimizing towards frequency really means optimizing towards the optimal frequency, at which point, if you go past it, there's a point of diminishing returns in terms of the audiences or your target audience's propensity to convert, right? So that's how we define it. Typically, by rule of thumb, folks consider the optimal frequency for most products is 3 to 7 per campaign. So some literature will say, hey, like do it once a week in order to maximize and focus on unique reach. But I think the important thing to consider is what is that point of diminishing return? And it differs from industry to industry, and it differs from campaign to campaign. So the optimal frequency might be determined by the nature of your product. You might have a high consideration product, in which case maybe you might need more frequency. Impulse product, which you just need lower frequency for impulse purchases. For fast-moving consumer goods, you might actually have a higher frequency, but on a daily basis, right? So you may once a day, because I want them to purchase this during lunch or whatever. It might be tied to seasonality, right? Advertisers during certain seasonal events might want to drive up frequency because that is where they make 80% of their revenue for the year, right? So I would take those consideration points in mind. Now, there are campaign activities that might influence the optimal frequency. How attractive your creative is might be one thing. How memorable it is. And of course, how long is your campaign? If you are doing a short campaign in terms of in preparation for a seasonal thing, then it might actually make sense to drive up the frequency. If you're an always-on campaign, then you want to make sure that you are able to spread out your dollars throughout as long as possible, maximizing reach and hopefully try to hit that optimal frequency along the way. Repeated exposure, if it is driving increased propensity to spend and convert, isn't necessarily bad. What you want to watch out for is excessive exposure. So overfrequency is a tremendous problem. It's a big problem in streaming connected TV, as you've seen, sometimes the ads showing up, the same ad showing up in the same ad pod or in different ad pods within the same show. Certainly not something most advertisers want. And Media Dive in the Work actually did a study saying that 52% of consumers agreed that overexposure or overfrequency to an ad campaign was detrimental to their view of the brand. So not only are you wasting spend, you're also alienating your audiences. So really critical that CTV advertisers, yes, they might aim for the optimal frequency, but they have to absolutely avoid overfrequency. In fact, according to the same research, showing up that had a detrimental effect on their perception of the brand. Overfrequency is a big problem. It's an important problem for advertisers to pay attention to and to control.